Well, welcome to another edition of What's So Funny, the show that probes the brains, the minds, the psyches, and the brains of the people who make the funny. Tonight's guest needs no introduction. And now a man who has no idea what he's getting himself into by having Nardwuar the Human Serviette on the show. Your host and MC, Mr. Guy McPherson.
Literally needs no introduction. Nardwuar the Human Serviette. Yes, that's right. Thank you, Kevin Smith. Kevin has a little history with Nardwuar. Nardwuar.
This is totally amazing. Here I am live on Vancouver's Cooperative Radio, CFRO 102.7. What's so funny? And the gentleman operating the equipment is the same gentleman that put me on the air on CITR, FM 102, Cable 102,
What?
Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, 22 years ago.
22 years
This is
ago.
like painful, isn't it? Kevin used to be the program director of CITR, and now 22 years later, after kicking me off the air a couple times, he's operating for me. He's pushing the pencils
I want to
for
hear
me.
this. Kevin,
He's pushing the buttons.
No.
Oh my God, sweet revenge. It's amazing.
did he kick you off the air?
A couple times.
I did
Kevin?
not.
Yeah, you did.
For what?
Yeah, you did.
No,
You kicked
I
me
didn't.
off. Okay, who kicked me off the air? Oh, it was Darren Reiter. Darren Reiter kicked me off the air because I let a band that was drunk on the air.
You should never do
And
that.
that band actually was called Axl Rose's Hose, and they actually had Stephen Ham from Tank Hog and Slow's brother in that band, and Stephen Ham actually played on that track that we just heard there,
Wow.
The Bums in My Pants, because he now plays bass in The Evaporators, who are playing in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, with Andrew WK on the 23rd of June at Neptune Records, 4 p.m. all ages, 8 p.m. drinking show at the Biltmore, and Andrew WK was on Kathy Griffin's show, My Life on the D-List, which you, Guy, indirectly got me on.
Which airs tomorrow night in the United States. Is it
On Bravo, 10 p.m.
Is it your American debut?
It is. It is definitely the first time I've been on TV in the United States of America ever, brought to you by you, Guy, because you got them to come up to Canada. Maybe you should give some backstory on that.
Indirectly, I interviewed Kathy Griffin, and she wasn't doing interviews. And finally, she did one with me, only because she went to the Straight site and saw that I had interviewed Lily Tomlin, and she learned that Lily Tomlin was coming to town the night
because
before
you told her. You told her that.
Well, she saw that I wrote it. And so she got on the phone that night, called her producer, said, we got to go up to Canada. And then she called me out of the blue the next day. Normally you get a bit of time. I don't know about you, Nardwuar. Normally you get a bit of time, like so-and-so is going to be calling you at this time, so you can prepare.
And it's going to be your network debut in the United States of America, too, isn't it? Or am I being rude by assuming it's going to be your debut? Is this really pathetic that we're so excited to be on Kathy Griffin's D-List show? I am totally. Like, your good compatriot, Adrian Mack from the Georgia Strait, he actually did a little thing for me for music notes that I was going to be on the D-List, but it was actually bumped for something else. It was actually bumped because some woman is going to have her music on a space shuttle, which actually didn't take off, and that bumped a music note that I was going to be on the D-List show. Anyways, what's really interesting is Adrian asked me, what did I think about being on the D-List? What list am I on? I'm on no list. Like, I'm pi, whatever that number is. I'm on the number list. So it's great. So I think it's awesome that we're so excited about this, and thank you for setting this whole thing up, because Andrew WK gave me the producer's phone number, and I was able to get the interview that way through the back door, and here I am live on Vancouver's Cooperative Radio 102.7, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
He knows how to do it.
Kevin taught you well. He's always trying to get me to give the numbers out.
Kevin also was editor of Discorder magazine.
Yeah,
as
did you
well
have anything
in
to
Vancouver,
do with
British
that?
Columbia. Yes, Kevin was my editor for that too. So he put me on the air, and then I fought with him for that too. And I think also Kevin was tour manager for rock and roll band
don't go
Cub
there.
a few years ago.
Yes, he
Don't
was.
go there. Don't
Cub
go there.
from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, had a great influence in the mid-1990s, infecting the world with their cuddlecore sounds and other stuff that's pre-issued on Mint Records, mintrex.com, or nardwuar.com if you want more information. But I am not a comedian, Guy. I am not a comedian. I just love doing interviews, but I love making interviews fun. I love making interviews fun. I love putting like fun in the interviews, but it's not trying to be funny. It's just trying to have fun with the interviews that I do.
Maybe I should ask Kevin this, but were you like this from the beginning?
Yeah, this is a little toned down, actually. I think he's mellowed it over the years.
So, but how much of it is shtick? Like, what the baby Nardwuar at high school, right? Was this essentially you?
Pretty much. It was identical. Yes, it's me, Nardwuar the Human Serviette.
Because I read a quote from Andrew WK, And that stands for Wilkes
Creer. Wilkes Creer, yes. Wilkes Creer. And he is actually, just if we get a little side note here, for your podcast listeners who might not be listening here live on Vancouver's Cooperative Radio 102.7. And the phone number is what? We're live here. Because that's one thing about podcasts, not live. What is the phone number here if anybody has any questions to phone in live?
684-7561. That's area code 604-684-7561.
And if somebody's listening to this on tape and rewound, what would they hear the number as being again?
Oh. 684-7561. Who's hosting this show?
If anybody has any questions, I was just going to say Andrew WK's new TV show for the Cartoon Network. Destroy, Build, Destroy debuts on June the 20th. Basically, the premise is he takes a whole bunch of kids into the desert. He gets a guy with a bazooka to blow up a tank. The tank blows up, and then he takes the kids to the tank, and then they make like skateboards out of it. They recycle stuff. Destroy, Build, Destroy. So he has a TV show on the Cartoon Network, but I think cartoon people are angry that show is on the Cartoon Network. Would you be mad if you're a cartoon fan and you have that show on the Cartoon Network? Although I think it's called Adult Swim, and then that goes into a whole bunch of other different sort of comedy stuff. Again, the number is
684-7561.
Andrew Wilkes Creer.
Andrew Wilkes Creer, Andrew WK. I've never heard him sing, actually. But he said in an interview in Onion, everyone thought I was this complete moron and complete dork for the majority of my school years. I was a loner kid who was very intense and serious and dorky and kind of nerdy and weird. Does that ring a bell for you at all?
Well, what's amazing about that, because he was dorky, he gravitated towards a band called the Leather Uppers from Toronto, Ontario, who had broken up by the time he got into them. They actually were the band the Stinkies at that time, and that's how he got into the band the Stinkies, Leather Uppers, and that is the song, that Leather Upper song is the song that Andrew WK covers on this brand new release that I've put out, A Wild Pair, Andrew WK and the Evaporators. But yes, I was totally that way, except I had some additional responsibilities. I was dorky, I was a loser, but I was also president of the student council, so I was in charge of organizing dances. So I would be going out there, going to people, I know nothing about music, tell me what bands to get. And they would say, go get the Enigmas, go get the Villains, go get the Grapes of Wrath, go visit Terry McBride in his apartment on Robson Street when he was like doing Grapes of Wrath and all that sort of stuff. So I went there as well. So I would get these bands that people told me to get. I knew nothing about the music. Yes, I was totally dorky. Then I got to University of British Columbia and I thought, well, geez, I did announcements on the school PA. I should try to get something on CITR, because I had heard a show on CITR that I'm sure Kevin Smith is well aware of called the Altered Alternative Show. Do you remember that at all, Kevin Smith?
No.
It was on Saturday mornings on CITR, and anybody could drop by and kind of be part of it. And my friend Alexis Sherlumbus, he dropped by and was on that show, and I was like, man, when I get to CITR, when I get to UBC, I got to join that show. So the second day of UBC, this was 1986, it was a Wednesday, and CITR had a beer garden, and there was Kevin Smith hosting this beer garden. Thank you, Kevin. And Mark Coulivan was there playing the song TV Party Tonight, and I walked in there, and Mark Coulivan also was playing legendary Seattle band The Sonics, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. CITR's having a beer garden. I was there with my friend John Bernardino, unfortunately now, rest in peace. However, John was like, man, you gotta drink beer, you're at the university. I was like, yes! So we drank beer at CITR beer garden, and we got wasted and went to see UB40 and the Fine Young Cannibals that night. However, before the beer garden ended, Mark Coulivan and all these other people said, hey, why don't you join CITR? I'm like, I don't want to join CITR. I was so involved with the student council, stuff like that. No, why don't you join CITR? I'm like, no, like, fill out this application form. I'm like, oh, okay, I filled it out. And I'm like, well, what happens now? You got to bring the money in. I go, I don't have any money. Bring in the money. So after the Fine Young Cannibals, the next day on a Thursday, like, man, I signed up for something. I gotta join CITR. So I went in there. I paid my membership. I walked into CITR, and the first person I saw was Randy Awada from Mint Records, who was sitting there typing on the computer, and I walked up to them, and this is the ultimate alternative sort of thing that happens. I walked right up to him, and I said, Randy, I'm looking for Steve Robertson, who's now a esteemed lawyer in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And Randy said to me, yes, he's big and tall, and he answers to the name Steve. I just love that. Isn't that like a great 80s sort of trying to be alternative sort of thing? And little did I know that all these years later, I'd be still here with Kevin Smith and still with Randy Awada doing Mint Records. So that's how I joined CITR Radio. So the dorkiness, we totally had a parallel life there happening. However, Andrew WK was playing at bands when he was 14. I was only 16 when I was doing in bands.
Yeah, and also he's a cool guy now, right?
Well, he has a Cartoon Network show. He's his own club in New York City. Pretty amazing. And he's doing a split 7-inch with my band, The Evaporators. Like, how many people would do a split 7-inch with us?
Explain what that means, a split 7-inch.
He's got 2 songs, and we've got 2 songs. We have the song The Bombs in My Pants and a cover of a 60s band from Quebec called Les Houlops. And they have a song called Oh No. And he does the cover of The Leather Uppers, Don't Sell Hot Dogs Tonight, nah, 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 from Toronto, Ontario. The song, remember, because he's a dork, he was attracted to them. And he also does a cover of Oh Canada by the Subhumans from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And actually, Wimpy Roy, the Subhumans, probably will be making a surprise appearance at the Biltmore Show at the 23rd in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, June the 23rd.
So tell me about the first time you met Andrew WK. So you were just interviewing him, I take it.
The first time I met Andrew WK was during an interview. I wanted to interview him previously, but I was not allowed to interview him. Because I interviewed Beck in 1994 and Beck told me to fuck off, I was banned from interviewing anybody on Universal Records. So when Andrew WK came to town, I wasn't allowed to talk to him. I wanted nothing to do with him. But then Grant Lawrence from CBC Radio 3 and a band of smugglers interviewed him and told me, man, this Andrew WK guy is absolutely amazing. He rode through a car wash with the roof up as a radio station promotion. Like, he would do anything. In Vancouver, he did it. And I got an NME, and I was reading NME, and I was totally into it. I thought, okay, next time he comes through town, I got to talk to him, and I was allowed to speak to him. And the weird thing about it was, when I was interviewing Andrew WK, he said, I've heard of you before. I heard of you via an underground tape that was traded around, just like David Cross had actually heard of me through an underground tape traded thing from 1992. He was on the set of the Ben Stiller show in 1992, and he heard a tape of me. He saw
David Cross, you're talking
David
about.
Cross, yeah. Was that a good show, the Ben Stiller show, 1992?
Apparently it was fantastic.
No, since I'm trying to drop in a comedy reference. I don't know if that's comedy there or not, but I was trying to drop that in there. So he had heard of me, but Andrew WK had heard of me because this woman, Sue Pachowski, had bought some of my records, including the Teenage Zit Rock Angst record, which Kevin Smith here wanted to play to end the show. No, we're not quite over yet. We're listening to Nardwuar the Human Serviette and Kevin and Guy on What's So Funny on CFRO 102.7. It's Nardwuar the Human Serviette. What's the phone number again for the people out there that want to know?
684-7561.
And the people that are listening to this on the podcast can phone that number too, and you'll be able to pledge some money to Vancouver's Cooperative Radio, CFRO 102.7. So,
but I think I know why you hit it off with Andrew WK. Listen, I'm trying to talk fast just to compete with you. It's not my style.
But just back to Sue Pachowski, she got this tape, then she gave it to Andrew WK, and then Andrew WK, when he was interviewed with me, said, I've seen this tape, and I saw Sonic Youth get interviewed by you, and I saw that Sonic Youth broke a gift that you had brought to them, and I'm never ever going to be like Sonic Youth. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And so he was kind of inspired by tape, and yet I wasn't allowed to speak to him first time he came through town, and here we are all the way back at CFRO 102.7.
And he probably really appreciates you because he also said in the same interview that I read, being passionate takes courage, and you are, if nothing else, passionate.
What do you mean, if nothing else?
Yeah.
I guess thank you. That puts it all in perspective. That's a good summary of my life.
If. There is an if in there. No, but you're very passionate about the music and about you're a walking encyclopedia, for Christ's sake.
Well, I just get excited about things, but I'm only an encyclopedia when I'm told to be an encyclopedia, because I know nothing about a lot of other stuff. Like, I didn't see the movie Tootsie, till last year.
I've never seen it.
You never seen it?
I've never seen it. I
didn't see it till last year, so, I mean, it has that doesn't work. However, I have had the chance to do interviews on campus community radio over the years, and one of the people that I spoke to in 1994 was Dr. Timothy Leary. Let's hear it. Track number 2.
The late.
Do we want to hear it right now?
Yeah. That was the introduction, Kevin.
Number 2.
Okay, here's something simple, finally. Winding up here, Timothy Leary. Do the guys with LSD get the most chicks?
The vulgar sordidness of that question is Olympic. Getting chicks. I mean, what does that mean, getting chicks? I mean, that is a very vulgar 50s term. Man, you are out of it. You really are out of it.
All right, thanks much, Timothy Leary, and doot-doodle-oot-doo.
Me too.
That was Timothy Leary and Nardwuar the Human Serviette, our guest this week, and I have to talk a bit fast before Nardwuar gets in there. But why did you end it right there?
That was like a long clip, and I just put like the highlight at the very end.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was one of the favorite little bits that I put in. That was actually on the Skookum Chief Teenage Rock Ranks record that Andrew WK's friend Stu Patelski bought and got my video cassette as well. It's interesting, though, that Timothy Leary didn't want to joke about girls because in all his videos, that's all he's ever talking about is girls. And also, the questions I asked and Timothy Leary were just retreaded ones that I heard him talk about. Like, some girl asked him, have you ever had a mind-blowing experience? And he said, I'm having one right now. And I asked him that same question, and he gave that exact same answer. So it's fun to recycle stuff. So in fact, everything that I say has been done before. Nothing I've been said or have said or will said or will ever say is original.
Do you ever get a little nervous before you ask a question like that?
Oh, every time. I'm
Every
totally
single time?
scared. Yes, I'm scared right now. Baboom!
But you plow through. You're courageous.
Well, you write your questions down on a piece of paper, and when the question's over, then you get the hell out. If you wait around and try to brag, it's wrong. When I had a chance to speak to Mikhail Gorbachev when he was in town,
Yes.
I said to him, Mr. Gorbachev, of all the leaders you've encountered, who was the biggest pants? And also, Dershny Rockin' u Slobodny Sviet. And the moderator said, what the hell is that? And I said, that was Keep on Rocking the Free World in Russian. And the moderator said, Mr. Gorbachev now has other activities to attend to. Goodbye. And right then and there, I could have got the hell out. But I was like wandering around going, where's my bag? And then the RCMP and everybody came up to me and said, why do you ask that question? You're from university. You ask stupid questions. So, like, as soon as you do something, you should get the hell out. Don't wait around. I was like, oh.
So you were questioned. You were also carted off by Stephen Harper's people, too, weren't you?
It seems like any time you try to have some fun, you're going to get carted off. But the weird thing was, you should be happy. As I guess we get older, Guy and Kevin, we have to be happy. At least we were getting carted off. At least we were close enough to get carted off. Because now, as I go to an event, I don't even get in the door to get carted off. Like, this just stopped. I guess.
Why? Because you're too well known and they know
I can't even get in the door. Like, at least when you get carted off, you're like in the event. It's a bang. I went all the way out to Surrey where Stephen Harper was doing a campaign event, and I wasn't even allowed in the door. It was like, no, you're going to cause a massive disturbance.
Do you ever want to go incognito?
Well, I will, in some circumstances, go incognito. When I spoke to Jean Chrétien at the APEC summit, I shaved my head.
Yeah, you're looking good.
But I was not going to do that for Stephen Harper, the Prime Minister of Canada. You know what I mean? Like, there's some times when you can go undercover. That's another thing. Is like, it had nothing to do, actually, with the RCMP kind of not liking me or the CSIS or whatever, secret police. It was other members of the media going, look, that guy's an idiot. Get rid of him.
Yeah, they don't like to be...
And actually, that probably was the right thing to do. And we actually, speaking of that, you yourself, Guy, have had many adventures, haven't you?
Oh, a few. Not as many as you.
What is your favorite adventure with a publicist on the line? Do you ever encounter publicists on the line?
Oh, just recently I had Jay Moore on, and he was talking from the phone, on the cell phone, and, you know, his publicist comes on and says, hey, we'll put you through to Jay now. Okay, great. I'm talking to Jay. And then we lost connection. And then the publicist came back on and said, oh, hi, Guy. He's lost connection. So I thought, now I'm being eavesdropped. She's listening in. I don't like that. Like, just pass it through to him and let go. But this happened a couple times. She'd keep cutting in every time his phone dropped out, which I guess was good. But, no.
There's always people in the background listening.
Not always.
And helping broker the deal as well. And here's an example. Track number 3. Me speaking to Alice Cooper. This is a phone interview with Alice Cooper live on What's So Funny with Guy McPherson and Kevin Smith and me, Nardwuar the Human Serviette, CFRO 102.7.
You're so good, Nardwuar.
Okay, hello.
Yeah, Nardwuar, it's Toby still.
Okay.
You just about ready? We've got about 10 minutes or so.
Oh, 10 minutes. Okay.
Because we have to leave for a flight from Montreal, but so I just want to make sure you know when he says he's got to go, it's because we got to go.
Okay. Okay, so I'll have to be quick then. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it may go a couple more minutes, but he'll let you know.
Okay, just give me a couple minutes, warning if it's 2 minutes or whatever.
Okay?
Okay.
So hold on. Next thing you speak to will be Alice Cooper.
Great.
Okay?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay, great.
So, I guess first off, hey, stupid, who are you?
Now, wait a minute. How do I take that?
That's fine.
Hey, stupid, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Who are you?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I am. Well, maybe we should start over again, Alice, I guess. Hey, stupid, who are you?
Hello?
Hello.
It's Toby.
Hello, Toby.
What's going on?
No, I was just saying, who are you to Alice Cooper, and I was hoping you would say, Alice Cooper.
Hey, but is this an interview or a game we're playing?
No, it's like an interview. It's like, who are you? Alice Cooper.
Right. But we know that.
Yeah, well, I was hoping that he would be able to say that.
Pardon?
I was hoping that he'd be able to say that.
And why is that?
Just because I begin the interview, like, who are you? So we can play it back on the radio.
Oh, okay.
And
This is taped.
yes.
Tony didn't tell us this is being taped for a broadcast.
Oh, yeah, this is for broadcast.
We were told
And
this was for a tip sheet.
oh, this is for tip sheet as well as broadcast.
Okay, well, see, we didn't know that.
Oh, okay. So I guess we'll just start again then.
Okay, and what are we doing?
I just said, who are you to Alice Cooper, and I was hoping that Alice Cooper would say, Alice Cooper.
Okay, and then what happens?
Then I'll ask some more questions.
Oh, okay. He just wants you to introduce yourself on the tape. Sorry, we didn't get that. Well, okay, here you go.
Hello.
So, Alice Cooper.
Okay, do it again.
We'll start saying, hey, stupid, who are you?
This is Alice Cooper.
So, Alice, where were you on January 1st, 1994?
94. January 1st, 1994. I didn't do it, whatever it was.
Weren't you with Willie Nelson at Bill Microsoft Gates' wedding?
No.
No?
I never made it.
You never did, but you were...
No, I was invited. And I got my invitation about 2 weeks after.
How did you meet Bill Gates? Was that...
I've never met Bill Gates.
Well, how did you get invited? Was that...
I have no idea.
Was that through golf?
No, I never met Bill Gates. I didn't even know who Bill Gates was until after I read it in Time magazine.
But you were invited, though, to his wedding.
Isn't that odd?
And he's from Seattle, just like Chris Cornell.
I know. Oh, there's this cosmic connection there.
And he's a real co-conspirator on your new Last Temptation record.
Yeah, he is. He is. But I don't think Chris Cornell ever met Bill Gates.
He might have been at the wedding.
Well, wait a minute. They both have electricity in their house.
So, Alice, do you still keep in touch with your old golfing buddies Peter Falk and Mike Douglas at all? Hello, Alice? Hello, Alice? Hello, Alice Cooper? Alice Cooper? Cooper?
Apparently, you're not supposed to ask Alice Cooper about golf. Now,
Or Mike
if
Douglas.
I knew that you weren't supposed to ask about golf, I probably still would have, but I would have saved it for the last question. I would have not done it so early in the interview, but I never was told that. That was just totally bizarre.
You serious? You're not supposed to, or you?
That's what somebody said to me. Some jock afterwards said, Nardwuar, you're not supposed to ask him about golf. That's all he talks about, like, nowadays.
Yeah, I know.
But I guess at that time, you're not supposed to, like, what is so offensive about, like, hanging out with Peter Falk and Mike Douglas doing joke?
Badass image he doesn't want to give up.
But now he's, like, totally into it. That was just totally bizarre. The weird thing is, the manager, the guy Toby, that was speaking there, he later contacted a rock and roll band called The Muffs, who Lisa Marr of the band Cub ended up marrying, who Kevin Smith tour managed for a little while. Ronnie of the band The Muffs, and they're now divorced. But Ronnie of the band, did you know that they're now no longer together?
No, I didn't know.
Do you
that.
remember Ronnie of the Muffs?
Yeah.
He was a good guy, wasn't he? He works at Amoeba Records in LA. He's amazing. I love him. And he said that Toby contacted the Muffs, said, hey, I want to manage you. And Ronnie actually said, hey, you know what? I once heard an interview you did with Nardwuar. And the guy's like, yeah, we just didn't know where that was going. And that was basically the answer. So I guess maybe that's why he hung up.
Yeah, I just think that people either get you or they don't immediately. But you must have this where sometimes, like Alice Cooper or a lot of people who want nothing to do with you later find out, oh, okay, this is legit.
Jello.
Kind
Jello
of.
Biafra.
And then they come back, and do they ever try to make amends with you?
Well, actually, what Kevin Smith mentioned there is really interesting because in 1989, I think Kevin Smith might even be in one of my Jello Biafra interviews because Jello Biafra was in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, shooting Terminal City Ricochet, written by Bill Mullen from CITR 101.9 FM, not CFRO, Vancouver's Cooperative Radio 102.7.
That doesn't count as a markdown for...
Wait, no, it doesn't count? Oh, okay. Well, I just gave it a college radio try there. And Jello, first couple times I met him, totally hated me. In fact, like, he writ on my face with like a black marker pen. I still put his voice on my records and I'd mail them to him. But then he too got sort of enthralled by the VHS tapes. He was like, I heard a hilarious story of you going trick-or-treating to a millionaire's house in Vancouver. And it was Jimmy Pattison, because we went trick-or-treating one year to Jimmy Pattison's house. He invited us in and I put this on videotape, and I guess no means no where somebody told him about it. So he totally got down with that. And in 15 years later, this is how long this is spanning, 15 years later, which was 5 years ago, because it was 20 years, 1989, when I first met Jello, the Evaporators, my band, signed to his records label, Alternative Tentacles, and I put out my first DVD, do. So it went from him hating me to me putting him on records to him signing my rock and roll band.
Any interview you do, it's a win-win situation, right? If they beat you up, if they hate you, if they don't talk to you, it works out great. If they do talk to you, it works out great. Has any have been a disaster?
I never really thought about that, but I do love life. Yes, there are no mistakes. The minute you should start quitting, I guess, is the minute you don't like it.
But are there any interviews where you go, I'm not even going to air that anywhere. I'm not going to put it on my website, nardwuar.com. And I'm not going to air that on CITR or Much Music where you...
Well, probably every single interview I do, including this one. Boom! Thank God it's going on your podcast and not mine. Basically, I feel that way after everything, and I think it's good you feel uneasy because you're always critiquing yourself. I heard earlier, while I was listening to, I think it was CKNW 98! Actually, Sherelle Tobin from CKNW 98. Remember Sherelle Tobin?
Yeah, she's on CBC.
She actually got me into the NDP convention in the year 2000, and that was totally awesome, being able to like interview people. And I was there with my friend Lloyd Ulana from CITR. I don't know if Kevin Smith remember Lloyd Ulana, also known as Beppy Crespan. You were asking what I was like when I was younger. I did do some things wrong. At CITR one day, I bit Beppy Crespan's Nitzer record. Like, I bit it. And it was a CD and it skips, and that was kind of really bad. But Sherelle Tobin got me into the NDP convention, and Lloyd was there with me, and he's like, okay, Nardwuar, there's a scrum around Ouge de Songe, and he's like, Nardwuar, you're going to get on your hands and knees, you're going to crawl under that, and you're going to pop up, and you're going to ask a question. But we actually just couldn't get through the feet because people's feet were like so close together. I thought that was the one way of getting like up there into doing something.
And you never got him?
No, we never did get him there.
Yeah, but you got Jack Layton?
We did
a couple times.
We got Jack Layton to do the hip flip, which is this weird 1960s game, and Paul Martin did the hip flip. Stephen Harper has never done the hip flip, and also Stefan Dion would not do the hip flip as either.
Would Ignatieff, do you think?
Well, we'll have to find out to see if you will.
But I'm most impressed.
And if people are interested, they can check out nardwuar.com and go down to politics for the politics.
Yeah, and Nardwuar, Nardwuar.
Wow, thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Because I would have thought it was Nardu.
There are people that I have interviewed several times that maybe have no idea who I am, but I keep talking to them over and over and over again. And one person actually is Snoop Doggy Dogg, track number 5, Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Now you say Snoop.
Because I first talked to him when he was pretty much Snoop Doggy Dogg, when he was doing the movie Bones in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, with Pam Grier. They were shooting that in Vancouver.
She's my nephew's cousin.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Apparently it's true.
That's absolutely incredible. Actually, I would also like to give a props out to Bernard, who does the Love Affair Retro Nights. He recently brought up Skinny Puppy's Kevin Key, and I did an interview with him. Bernard's stepdaughter has seen Ray J, the rapper Ray J, who did that videotape with Kim Kardashian, and Ray J is related to Snoop Doggy Dogg, so more Vancouver connections there. So I've spoken to Snoop Doggy Dogg a couple times, and the last time I spoke to him in 2007, he actually, well, let's hear what he actually did here. This is Nardwuar the Human Serviette, live on What's So Funny, a show about comedy, although I'm not into comedy, but the host, Guy McPherson, and Kevin Smith is CFRO 102.7. If you have any questions, please call in, and the number to call is
684-7561. Come on, people.
Snoop Doggy Dogg 2007 backstage at the Pacific Coliseum smoking a big one.
Who are you?
Snoop Dogg, the greatest rapper of all time. From the east side of LBC, the LBC savior. I'm the best thing rap got going.
Snoop Doggy Dogg,
is it true that you lectured at Oxford? Did you lecture at Oxford University?
I did lecture at Oxford University along with Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, just to name a few. You know, I got bitches everywhere.
Snoop Doggy Dogg, I think it's amazing. You always take it to another level. The Snoop hot dog. How can anybody top the Snoop hot dog? What can you tell me about the Snoop hot dog?
It's a beautiful thing, you know. Everybody loves to eat hot dogs, so why not eat a foot-long hot dog with Snoop Dogg on it? You understand me? No balls included.
What does it taste like, Snoop Dogg? What do your wieners taste like?
They taste good, actually. They taste like the best hot dogs you ever had with seasoning salt on the inside of them. My Uncle Rio got seasoning salt in the hot dogs.
Where can you get them, Snoop? Where can you get the Snoop hot dog?
They're going to be at local venues, at grocery stores. I'm opening up a Snoopermarket, a chain of Snoopermarkets where they're going to be selling them at, as well as the sporting events, the arenas where they play basketball, football, and baseball.
Snoop Dogg, what's Snoop Dogg food like? What's the dog food like that you have? Because you have Snoop Dogg food, don't you? Doggy biscuits?
Snoop Doggy biscuits, dog pet line products. I even got clothes for your dogs, you know, sort of kind of like some of the outfits you wearing, like this sweater you got on. Just like one of my outfits I got for the dogs.
Baboom! Winding up here, Snoop Doggy Dogg, I just think it's amazing. Thank you for giving me the props here. I would like to ask you, why do you like to steal my stuff, Snoop Dogg? Remember you first tried to steal my Red Fox doll? Do you remember that?
I stole the Blowfly album from you. You wouldn't let me take the Red Fox doll, but I see some shit I'm taking today. I'm taking that. I'm taking this. I'm taking that.
I'm not sure, Snoop Dogg. You took the Blowfly album. That was quite intense of you. And actually, I talked to Blowfly, and he has a message for you for taking my Blowfly album.
I talked to him, too.
And what is Blowfly's message to Snoop Dogg, do you think? Here is Blowfly's message to Snoop Dogg for taking my record.
Snoop, you remember you snore my fucking record, dog? You are a fucking dysentery and bone-burying, tick-catching, police-scratching, lights erasing, hoe chasing, no growling, full moon howling, no listen, fighting, pissing, no barking, bone hawking, collar carrying, hound marrying, cat beating, apple eating, poor excuse for major mutt. Your breath smell like undouched lasher, but I'm out of the cut. In exactly 13 days from now, Snoop, you're gonna look down and find a beautiful pussy where your little dick used to be. I'm gone.
Blowfly, that nigga said, I'm gone.
Blowfly to the rescue. Blowfly sticking up for me, Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Well, that's some OG shit right there, because Blowfly is a real motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about?
And remember also, you mess with Nardwuar the Human Serviette, and Blowfly will come after you, Snoop. What's going to happen in 13 days, eh?
I'm going to leave you alone, because I don't want that to happen, man. I don't want Uncle Blowfly to put that curse on me.
Snoop Dogg, I was wondering, what does this mean? You addressed this soul plane hat to me, and it says CMF. What does CMF mean, Snoop Dogg?
Cock-sucking motherfucker.
Should I take that as a compliment?
Definitely. You suck cock good here.
Well, thank you very much, Snoop Doggy Dogg. Anything else you want to say to the people out there?
I'm the greatest of all time, next to Cassius Clay and James Brown, and then the Snoop Dogg.
What about Curtis Blow?
Curtis Blow good. But like I said, Cassius Clay.
This is Muhammad Ali. Have you ever met him at all?
Yes, this is the champ. I need this for the beats that I'm making right now.
I don't think you can take this, Snoop Dogg.
I'm just gonna borrow it.
I don't. What is the difference between taking and borrowing, Snoop? We've been through this.
I mean, I'm gonna give it back to you. Taking it mean you ain't getting shit back. Okay?
Why do you always take my stuff, Snoop Doggy Dogg?
Because let me tell you what I'm gonna do with this. I'm gonna go to my DJ. I'm gonna let him sample it, put it in it from the turntable to the computer, and I'm gonna give it back to you because I know this means a lot to you. I'm not gonna be like I used to be when I used to see you taking your shit. I'm gonna borrow it now. It's gonna be both our shit. Okay? I'm just gonna keep it at my house, and whenever you need it, you can get it.
Really? I can come to your house, Snoop Doggy Dogg?
The next interview we do is gonna be at my house.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Snoop Doggy Dogg. And you can have the poster as well. I'm throwing in the poster.
Thank you, Pimpin'. I like your style. I'm gonna be real harmonic towards you, cause Blowfly on your side. It ain't easy to get Blowfly to ride with you, man. That's some gangster shit.
Well, thanks so much, Snoop Doggy Dogg. Keep on rocking in the free world and do-do-do-do-do.
Do-do. Smoke one.
Go ahead, y'all.
That was, who was that?
That was the legendary Blowfly with Shitting on the Dock of the Bay, and kind of an intro to the Weird World song. And before that, an interview with Snoop Dogg by me, Nardwuar the Human Serviette, and you were asking off-air Guy McPherson. You're listening again to Guy McPherson and Kevin Smith, live on CFRO 102.7. What's so funny? What do you think about Andy Richter these days behind that pulpit on the Conan O'Brien
I want him
show?
on the couch.
What's pulpit for? I don't quite understand what the
I think
pulpit
it's
is.
the new thing.
I think it's really
talk
interesting.
shows.
I just thought I was reminding myself of being the pulpit guy. You're back to stick out the show with What's So Funny.
I was asking you off the air, and I'm going to ask you on the air. Snoop Dogg said you can come to his house.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
And
So
unfortunately, when he came to Vancouver, so I didn't even have to go that far to his house. His house was the Commodore Ballroom. I tried to get an interview with him, and it didn't even work.
What do you mean?
I couldn't even get to him in Vancouver, even though he was asking me to his house. Interestingly enough, I did try to go down before that to actually go to his house, and I made some arrangements. And the only day that Snoop Dogg was available that I could actually get down and do an interview with him, he was actually busy. And you know what he was doing? He was attending an Anaheim Ducks hockey game when they were playing the Ottawa Senators. And as it turned out, he was interviewed by Scott Oak in between periods, and he did a rap throw to Bob Cole that you can actually see on YouTube. So in essence, I was stood up by Snoop Dogg for Bob Cole and Scott Oak of Hockey Night in Canada. And actually, I couldn't think of better people to get screwed by.
You're doing a lot of interviews now with rappers. Not so much the indie rock scene. I mean, you're still doing that, but a lot of rappers I see.
Well, as you know, Guy McPherson, when you do a weekly show, you got to be able to interview everyone.
Right.
And
so
I will put this to you: who canceled that you had to have me on?
Nobody. I wanted you for a long time.
Yeah. So basically, every week you do a show and you'll interview anybody, and that's kind of who I'll talk to. Whoever will talk to me. It's true though. It did start with me only doing punk interviews when I was first starting on CITR. Kevin Smith again, giving my first break at CITR FM 102, K102, Vancouver, Columbia, Canada.
You owe your career to Kevin.
Serviette, and you can check my radio show 3:30 to 5 every Friday, 101.9 FM on CITR.
3:30 to 5. You got an hour and a half?
Yes, I got an hour and a half. It used to be the Noise Show between 4 and 5. I was only half an hour, but the Noise Show left, and then the program director said, either you take 4 to 5 or you get nothing, because I was always going into the Noise Show like an hour into the Noise Show, even though their show was 4 to 5, and my show would actually be 3:30 to 5. You know, it's supposed to be 3:30 to 4. The Noise Show I loved, and I love campus community radio. I love community radio. I love co-op radio. People should contribute to it. It's just amazing, because Adam Sloan, who was a program director at CITR, he was doing the Noise Show. I one time walked into the CITR studios, and I saw a mic up against his heart, and I heard no noise. And I was like, what the hell's going on? He's like, be quiet! I'm broadcasting my heartbeat! And I just thought that was amazing. But back east, they don't call that the Noise Show. They call that radio art. I like calling it the Noise Show on CITR. So every week, I do a radio show. I'm always interviewing anybody. First it was punk. Then after doing punk, a guy called Mark Kleiner from the band, the Sister Lovers, said, hey man, you got to get into heavy metal. I'm like, why would I be like heavy metal? I was like, it's hilarious. You got to interview the band Slick Toxic. They're a Canadian heavy metal band. They won a Juno, and then they crashed their limo. And they're going to change their name to Slack Toxic. Because remember, this was the era when everybody was doing punk, about 95. So we would ask questions of these heavy metal bands. Yes, I ended up doing heavy metal interviews. Would you ever sell out and go punk? So it was great. I'm so excited. I'm spitting on you, Guy. I am hopefully clean in that sort of respect. I'm like those dirty, filthy, stinking, rich, and what band? Dirty, stinking, filthy, rich. I think that was one of those heavy metal bands did that sort of thing. So I interviewed heavy metal bands, and then somebody said, hey, well, why don't you get into rap? Snoop Dogg is coming to town. I'm like, I don't like rap. Look, rap is like the new hair metal. So I just go from one to the other. So I'll do anything.
Do you like it, though?
I used to have blinders. I am totally transfixed for it, because I love the garage rock, and I love, like, for instance, on this brand new release, A Wild Pair, The Evaporators, and Andrew WK, my band The Evaporators covered Les Hulops, a 60s garage band. I knew about this band because Les Hulops are contemporaries of Les Lutins, who were covered by the Gruesomes from Montreal, Quebec in 1986, and are still rocking here today. So I love, covering 60s bands. And what do rappers do? They sample all the time. And who's the most sampled rapper pretty much of old school age? But Blowfly, and that's why it was great. I was able to do it. So basically, people like rap got me into appreciating people that rap sampled. So I've totally done a whole bunch of interviews with Blowfly as well.
So, but you're known for your level of research.
He was the original dirty rapper who actually influenced people, for instance, like Weird Al. But yes, maybe known for some research. But when somebody says you got to speak to Snoop Doggy Dogg, I'm like, I know nothing, so I spend a week trying to learn about Snoop Doggy Dogg. And of course, nobody else would waste their time doing that. I was stupid enough to do that, and I'll have some questions to be able to do it. So just because I'm stupid enough to do it, that's why.
So, but that is fantastic.
Because I
that's
know
what
nothing.
you know for.
Because I know nothing, I try to know something.
But when you interview the indie rock bands, you know it already, right?
It's the exact same thing.
Oh, it's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing.
It's a lot easier now to come up with, to research. How did you research before the internet?
The same way you research now, by like asking people. For instance, I mentioned Ronnie from the band The Muffs. Remember, he was talking about Alice Cooper. When in an interview with Gene Simmons, he was saying Pat Fear from the band White Flag knows Gene Simmons, and Gene Simmons has a secret supply of Fresca in his basement. You should ask Gene Simmons about this. So I did, and I was able to get the information out. So just by asking people stuff over the phone, you're on tour with the Evaporator, and some kid will go, "Oh, here you're talking to Billy Talent." I'm like, yeah, I'm going to talk to Billy Talent. I'll talk to anybody, because remember, Billy Talent has some Vancouver connections because, named after the Hardcore Logo book. And the Hardcore Logo book is really interesting because Malcolm Lowry Room was run by Michael Turner. And Michael Turner, running the Malcolm Lowry Room, also booked many bands there for free. Remember the Malcolm Lowry Room?
Yes, I do, yeah.
As well. And so you're able to get the stuff together, and this kid will go to me, well, I saw Billy Talent, and the guy offered me a free beer or something like that. And then I said, oh, cool. And then I remembered that little tidbit, so when I interview Billy Talent, I throw out the little tidbit. So it's just remembering the little bits here and there. So just from people saying stuff to you, and also you can search the net too. But like you might search the net. You might search the net and also find information on the net that somebody knows something about, so you go and ask them. I did an interview with Lady Gaga, and I was like, what the hell can I ask Lady Gaga? So I emailed, there we go, Andrew WK, and I said, Andrew WK, what is your wildest club experience? And he told me his wildest club experience was he walked into this club, that he stepped up to the bar, and when he was stepping up in the bar, he felt something underneath him, and it was a guy with a crush fetish in New York who liked to have carpets in front of him and be crushed at a bar. So I asked Lady Gaga what her wildest club experience was. It was the exact same thing. So I got that little tidbit from Andrew WK. So I used people that I've interviewed previously to help me with interviews. For instance, I interviewed Blowfly, and he helped me with that Snoop Dogg interview.
That's right. That's true. But how many people can you go to that you have interviewed that you still have the connections where you can approach them or write them?
Well, I have burnt a lot of bridges, so there are some people that I stay away from, but I do try to reward them with special gifts, like the brand new Nardwuar floating pen that you're holding right there.
Thank you very much for this. I didn't know it was brand new, but I could see a topless Nardwuar.
It's modeled after one of those nudie ones, I guess, for the magic of radio. If you turn it over, you can see my shirt coming off it and my shirt coming back on. Yeah. And, of course, in true tradition of Nardwuar style, everything PG-14. And actually, all ages, the Evaporators are playing on next Tuesday, 4 p.m., a free gig with Andrew WK, and then at 8 p.m., a drinking gig, which is money to get in, where Andrew WK is headlining. We're backing up. But Andrew WK is backing up us at the free in-store at Neptune Records on Main Street in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. More info at nardwuar.com, all in celebration of A Wild Pair, which is a 7-inch that we put out, and you heard The Bombs in My Pants, one of the songs there.
Who was your first interview?
The first person I interviewed was Art Bergman, and it was on September the 26th, 1985.
How do you remember this?
Because I organized a dance for my high school. Remember, I was telling you about that. So I remembered, I was really good at contract negotiations. He wanted $1,400, and I talked him down to $1,398 just to make it look good on paper there. So I did the interview with him, and I videotaped the interview, and I still have that. In high school? I did, in high school. I've never put that on the internet, though. And the reason I interviewed him, because he thanked our high school in the liner notes to the Young Canadians record. How did I know about the Young Canadians record? Because I was told to go search out the Young Canadians to get bands to play our dances. Again, I know nothing. I just respond to what people tell me that I should go and find. I'm not stupid.
Well, how did you get into a band? You're just a frontman, right? You're a frontman?
Yes, I scream and I hit one note.
So, but I'm getting the sense that you know nothing. So it's like you're a clean slate.
No, I knew nothing. How did I get in the band? I was in gym class with my friend Scott Livingstone, a future evaporator drummer, and we were doing push-ups, and he just out of the blue said to me, hey, do you want to get a band together? You can play keyboards, I'll play drums, and we'll get a band together for variety night. And then word sprung amongst the school, and we ended up getting some more members, and we ended up doing 2 songs at the school variety night, Shot Down by the Sonics and Human Fly by the Cramps, and it became the subject of the evaporator song, Shakin' with the Shaggy Shaker.
See, I don't believe that for a second, because I don't think you've ever done a push-up in your life.
I do. I work out as best I can. Not necessarily push-ups. You're totally true about that. But I was doing push-ups then, and you were forced to do them in high school as well, because I took gym, right? And he took gym, too. Because it was easy to get credits by taking gym.
All right, so you started in high school, and this has been going on since.
The Evaporators formed on February 20th, 1986.
How often do you play?
Probably a couple times a year. However, this is my sort of way how we kind of put this in perspective. We formed in 1986, but our first release that was jewel case and a CD was in 2004. So we've been around about 5 years.
Oh, okay. And I wanted to tell you, you interviewed my hero, Pierre Trudeau. I didn't know this. I saw a clip of you asking him about Margaret.
Yes, what was really weird about that is I thought I'll ask about Margaret, and next day it was like front page of the Vancouver Sun. People were like, he hasn't talked about Margaret in years.
Because everyone's afraid to ask him.
And the weird thing is the comments on YouTube were just like, why'd you ask him such a stupid question? I guess nobody really realized that at that time he hadn't really talked about anything about that. Who am I, though, really? I am Nardwuar the Human Serviette, and I have my own theme. Track 1. Let's get an intro here to a Pierre interview, a Pierre Berton interview. Track 1 for a little intro. Let's do my intro theme. This is Nardwuar the Human Serviette live on What's So Funny.
Nardwuar. Nardwuar. Nardwuar.
And we're back.
I love that. Who did that?
That was the Evaporators, and that song actually is called Nard Nest, but we adapted it for Nardwuar. And Nard Nest is about the Nardwuar internet message bulletin board at nardnest.com. It was killed off by Facebook and Twitter. Nobody posts anymore. It's a spam, but it's the Nard Nest. And that was the song, and we adapted it to go Nardwuar. You're mentioning Pierre's. Here's an interview coming up I did with Pierre Berton, again, sadly departed. How many interviews of dead people have we played here? Okay, hopefully
killing them off.
This is the only one here at the moment. And I was talking to Pierre Berton about...
He went to my high school.
No way.
He did, yeah.
In Ontario.
You're that old guy?
Victoria.
Oh, really? I forgot that he lived there.
There you go. His sister wrote the Oak Bay High theme Raw song. Yeah.
Cheer.
I always get sometimes Pierre Berton and Mordecai Richler.
Oh, maybe it was Mordecai Richler. No, it was Pierre Berton. Because he also went to high school in the Yukon, I think, and Victoria.
He mixed it all up here.
Yeah.
So here is the end of an interview that I did with Pierre Berton, legendary Canadian Pierre Berton. And again, for the people listening across the border on Co-op Radio, 5,000 watts in the San Juan Islands. If you're listening in the San Juan Islands right now, Pierre Berton, there is no American equivalent of Pierre Berton, is there? There is no American equivalent of Pierre Berton. Maybe Ken Burns, the narrator dude or whatever, from one of those Civil War type PBS shows or something like that. But there is
no chronicler of Americana.
Yeah, or a sort of historian sort of thing. There is no equivalent of this gentleman right here. Track number 7, Pierre Berton.
Who are you?
I'm Pierre Berton. I just put journalist on my passport. I think that's good enough.
Finally, Pierre, in the 1960s, did you ever, like William S. Burroughs, use hallucinogenics to enhance any of your writing?
Not unless you count pot, grass, but not to enhance my writing. I would never write one word under the influence of either a drug or alcohol. It throws your timing right off. I know where I go on a television program or a radio program or a public speech. If with even one drink, I wouldn't take one drink. I wouldn't smoke one joint because that throws your timing off. It throws your thinking off. It throws everything off. If you want to be sharp, stay sober.
But you did experiment with marijuana then?
I didn't experiment with it. I just smoked it. It wasn't an experiment. The kids had it, and we were sitting around. We used to smoke joints. Still do. I smoke with my kids.
All right, and thanks so much, and keep on rocking in the free world.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, you didn't do Doot-Doot-Loot-Doo to Pierre Berton.
No, that almost was like pre-Doot-Doot-Loot-Doo thing. And what was interesting about that was he's talking about smoking dope, and then years later he did that big thing with Rick Mercer. I guess nobody had actually heard that he had actually done an interview with Nardwuar the Human Serviette.
Yeah, you scooped him.
Although I learned that he actually did something, say, like 10 years earlier, maybe with Brent Bambury saying the same sort of thing. But it is interesting, yeah, they make this big deal about Rick Mercer singing, there's Pierre Berton talking about smoking dope there with Nardwuar the Human Serviette. And that was the Nard Extra now, and I'm going to turn the show over back to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Nardwuar. Guy McPherson here on What's So Funny, CFRO 102.7 FM. Hey, we're talking with Nardwuar the Human Serviette.
Can we get one caller, maybe? One more caller?
One more?
One more? No.
684-7561, area code 604.
One more time, that is 684-7561. To call in now to speak to
Nardwuar the Human Serviette. Nardwuar, tell me about that dumb, stupid, made-up name.
It's just a dumb, stupid, made-up name. Like Sting or Sinbad. Have you ever interviewed Sinbad at all before?
No, but I saw him. I saw him live, and I always hated him. But when I saw him live, I go, hey, this guy's pretty good.
Is he still doing stuff?
He still is. He was at the River Rock.
No way,
believe
when?
it or not. He came on stage, and then he had to take a break because he really had to go take a dump.
That's amazing. Well, I interviewed James Brown, and I was later told that I should have asked him about when he had somebody open for him. It was like a magician in a hot tub open for him. Like there was a guy in a hot tub open for him when he played here years ago. So there's always little bits you miss out there.
Hey, did you ever interview John Turner?
Yes, I did interview John Turner.
Oh, I thought I was going to get you on that one.
Yes, John Turner. Because John Turner, and I was on my Nardwuar the Human Serviette Welcome to My Castle DVD available at nardwuar.com. Yes, he was a member of CITR. I go, you're a member of CITR? He goes, yeah, Radsaka, Student Radio Society. And he just turned 80 years old, too. There was a big article in the paper on John Turner turning 80 years old. And later I found out, and you can actually find this on the DVD commentary for the Nardwuar the Human Serviette DVD, Welcome to My Castle. Stephen Hamm, who's playing bass in the Evaporators, told me that he used to go and to parties at UBC with John Turner's wife or daughter's house, whatever, and get totally wasted. So there's a little connection there as well, I thought, which was kind of interesting.
And was he good?
I think they were amazing parties.
No, was he good when you interviewed him? Did he catch on? Did he like it? What you're getting at?
It was really interesting because it was when he was making an appearance for a campaign, so there were cameras all around him, right? And he was actually speaking to the cameras and actually made it in the paper. And I think I asked him, what are your top 3 idols? And I think he said Winston Churchill, St. Augustine, and John A. Macdonald. And of course, John Macdonald is a conservative and he's a liberal, so the paper quoted that thing. So I thought that was kind of neat. That was in 1988. I think Kevin Smith might have remembered that. That was when I was going around in clubs days at UBC trying to get a whole bunch of stuff, and there was John Turner. Actually, I also filmed the first snuff thing I ever filmed with John Turner. Believe it or not, what was happening was there were all these people watching John Turner, and we were filming John Turner with my little Hi 8 was told to be bought to me. My dad's friend Rocco from the States told me to buy this Hi 8 Rocco, and it was actually a good investment. We're filming John Turner, and all these people fell down because this table collapsed, and we filmed it. So it was like the first snuff thing. So I used it on Cable 10, Shaw Cable 10 Soundproof, where they contribute to Nardwuar Presents and Ouch, and it was all these people standing, and a boom, they fell down, and that was my first snuff thing that I filmed.
Hey, when was the first Doot-Doot-Loot-Doot?
It was probably when I started taking callers on my radio show. My radio
come
show.
on, people.
And I needed a way to get rid of the caller because I hated the way how the people they would just hang up on the caller, but they wouldn't say bye. So I'd be like do. So that was after a few years of doing my radio show. I'm guessing probably early, maybe 91 or 92. It was getting in there big time.
Yeah, and when you decided to take it to a celebrity, it was a bit risky, hey?
Some celebrities I take it to and I do it wrong. Like, for instance, James Brown, I went do-do-loo-do, and he went, I'm not going to go wop-bop-a-loo-bop-a-dim-bam-boom. And then I'm like, no, do-do-loo-do. And then his backup singers went do-do. And I just thought about this the other day. He totally did it right, didn't he? Do-do-loo-do, wop-bop-a-loo-bop-a-dim-bam-boom. That's right. He has the best rhythm. I totally screwed up. I can't believe, he's dead now, but I'm sorry, James Brown.
Hey, you have talk show goals. You love. I mean,
talk show goals.
Talk show goals. You'd love to be a talk show host. Come out with your band, the Evaporators, and interview people. Canada doesn't have one.
That is amazing that you mentioned that. Now you've done your research.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, and that's why the show's called "What's So Funny." It's got to the level of having to troll the internet for Nardwuar the Human Serviette little tidbits. Yes, that's my idea. Is that the show begin? I'd come out and sing the theme song, and then I'd run to the desk, and when I ran to the desk, I'd do the monologue or whatever it is out of breath just because I'd sung the song, and then at the end I would jam with the person like David Sanborn always got to jam with people at the very end, and I think other people do that there too. So I would make it really easy to jam, and of course I'm going to be jamming with Andrew WK at Neptune Records Tuesday the 23rd, free, 4 p.m. 8 p.m. It's going to be Andrew WK's full show with the Evaporators backing up. I have pitched it to different people. At first the show was pitched as something like On Golden Pond meets Natural Born Killers. Then I kind of switched it around, and it was The Monkees meets Baywatch. But I guess, as you can kind of see, those references are a bit older. I guess what should it be now? Like The Jonas Brothers meets Kim Kardashian or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's taken a long way, and my ultimate goal was to be poolside with Heather Locklear. However, again, but she's gone really well over the years, hasn't she? Like, in other words, it's been a good goal to have Heather Locklear. Like, it hasn't gone out of date.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like, that still gets some laughs, right?
So, but I mean, you do need a bigger forum. I mean, you're on Much Music still?
I'm a freelancer still to Much Music, contributing to their shows.
I didn't know they were still on the air.
They still are on the air.
They're on the air, yeah.
So if there's an interview that happens and they're interested in, they will take it. But I still would love my own show.
And you own it. You own the interview, so you
I am
can...
Nardwuar the Human Serviette. We're filming this with my little handy cam right now, and also the little camera that you've had your photo captured on that we're donating to DOCSA.
The Documentary Film Festival.
And this is going to be auctioned online on eBay.
Why would somebody want that?
That's what I'm wondering.
So they just handed you a
camera. Because your photo is on there.
Somebody just handed you a camera and then said, here, take some pictures and we're going to auction them. What else is on there?
Well, I've just tried to take pictures of people that I've encountered.
Oh, okay.
And I guess they've given it to a whole bunch of other celebrities, like George Stroumboulopoulos, Randy Bachman. I think they gave one to like Michael Moore and stuff like that. Yeah. And the idea is they auction these online. People want to buy it because they're wondering what's in the photos. Because it's like one of these photos, not a digital camera. It's an old film camera.
So you're a celebrity.
That's what I was given, but I didn't hand it in on time, and I tried to make you a celebrity too, as well.
Thank you very much.
By having your photo.
Of course, tomorrow night we'll be celebrities in the States.
And there's a few more questions, Sarah.
Oh, I got tons.
Just bang them off here.
I don't know. When someone's being a douche to you...
You see, if somebody is going to take the effort to do questions for me, I want the questions, please.
No, it doesn't matter.
So, what, douche, what?
Yeah, a lot of people are douche. Skid Row.
Yes.
And Sebastian Bach. I thought he was dead.
Well, in 1994, he was very much alive, and he stole my toque, and that's why I wear this tam o' shanter now, because he stole my toque.
Ah, okay. Hey, we got a call.
Caller, are you there?
Norman, are you there?
No. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey.
Go ahead, caller.
Now's your chance.
You are listening to CFRO 102.7, Vancouver's cooperative radio. How long have you been listening, caller, to CFRO?
Turn your radio down, bud.
Norman.
No, I love it when you
down. Yeah, it's down.
Okay. So you got a question?
Wake
up. I'm wondering why Nardwuar.
Yes.
Why is it so fucking hard to find a place to live in Vancouver, and why the moon turns up every day?
Why is it so hard to what? To what?
To find a place to live.
Right.
And why does the moon come up every day? I just thought I'd ask him something.
Well, first off, when you look at the moon, remember, Disney faked the moon landing. Disney faked the moon landing. It didn't actually happen. It was one of the people that I interviewed, a guy called Bill Casing, and you can actually hear that interview, caller, at Nardwuar.com. The moon landing was fake, so don't believe anything about the moon. And as for looking for a place to live in Vancouver, yes, it is horrible and hard to find a place in Vancouver.
Ivanhoe, help me.
And to find a place, Norman, to live in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, my only suggestion would be to continue what you're doing now, and that is action.
Drinking and eating mushrooms fucking every day?
No, you are taking action. You are picking up the phone and you are voicing your opinions. You are making these opinions heard. You are an example to everybody, and we appreciate that you care. Because you care. Because you're looking for a place. You're going to find a place, and those mushrooms are going to take you to another plane, as Mudhoney said. So thank you, Norman, and do-do-do-do-do.
Do-do-do-do.
Almost, Norman. Yeah!
All right, thanks.
And you're still... Do we have another caller?
We lost the other caller.
Thank you so much for phoning in, Norman. Really appreciate that.
Speaking of the moon landing, and you don't believe that for a second, I hope, but you wrote a thesis on the Kennedy assassination?
Now, there you've done wrong research. That's Wikipedia. That was and I haven't corrected that because I like that.
I love that because I love the Kennedy assassination. You have no opinions on that?
I did actually write a final essay. I took a course in hacky sack and Kennedy assassination as part of my final, essay or whatever, what was happening. But I did not do my dissertation on it. But I didn't want to correct Wikipedia because it was so great.
Yeah, but, Wikipedia is bad research, but it's great to ask the people to get firsthand information about it.
But I want that to be true, though. I want that to be true. So, please keep believing that. In fact, I should have said, yes, that's true. Yes, that's
then
true.
I would have grilled you on it.
And do we have another caller?
Dan apparently is on the line.
Hello, Dan, phoning from Norman's house. Are you there?
Not from Norman's house. Hey, Nardwuar, big fan, long time listener, first time caller.
Do you listen to Co-op Radio much, Dan?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
What, are you phoning from the other room right now? Are you not
sound like that?
No, I just occasionally that's happened. Why? Are you phoning from the other room?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. Anyway, where do you get your energy from? I mean, it's 12 o'clock. I mean,
I know.
Sleep?
Sorry about that. I hope I didn't wake you up. That has happened before, where once I was live on CITR radio, and then I went to sleep, and then I woke up, because you'd have to actually sleep in CITR radio, because there's no buses leaving CITR, and I decided I would turn on the radio, because I turned off CITR, because we didn't used to be 24 hours, and I turned on the radio, and I went, and I actually woke up people, because they had fallen asleep to CITR, and then I guess I woke them up. So, I don't know, it's just something that this happens there, caller. Can you help Norman find a place to live, Dan?
No, I couldn't, unfortunately.
Where do you get your energy?
Red Bull and coffee. Just like everyone else, right? A bit of BC Bud on the side.
Oh, right. Hey.
Of course.
Now, I must say, did you hear the clip of Pierre Berton speaking about drugs?
I did.
That's great.
Fascinating. I saw the Rick Mercer report as well, but I didn't realize you did it for him.
First.
Well, a bit before, but this is great. Now we've kind of analyzed here, guys, listening audience. Do you listen to Guy's show much at all, caller, Dan?
Sorry?
Do you listen to Guy's show very much?
Every Sunday, my roommates in.
So do you know that this is your demographic there, Guy? That you should have more people talking about pot and mushrooms and the moon and homelessness and Red Bull and that sort of stuff.
It comes up.
I don't think you're meeting those requirements, are you, exactly?
Yeah, that is the first time Dan's called.
And Dan, I will say also, if you are interested in coming down, next Tuesday, that's the 23rd at 4 p.m., if you happen to be free, there's a free gig happening at Neptune Records on Main Street. My band, The Evaporator, is playing. Andrew WK from New York City is playing. It's free. You're welcome to come down. And if you can't make it at 4 p.m. because you're working, probably, you can come at 8 p.m., but you have to pay $15 for that particular performance. But thanks so much for phoning in. Really appreciate that. And thank you for staying. What are you doing tonight? You're listening?
I was studying for a bit, the student thing, but, that doesn't last too long.
Well, thank you.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for phoning in. And if you are interested in anything more, Nardwuar.com, Nardwuar.com. And, of course, every Sunday night, 11 to 12 p.m., it's What's So Funny. Well, thanks so much, Dan, and do-do-do-do.
Do-do.
And you're still listening to What's So Funny. A couple more quick questions there.
No, we can't.
Come on, a couple more questions.
Who's the biggest jerk you ever interviewed?
Probably Sebastian Bach of the band Skid Row, because he actually stole my toque. Actually, no, I'm going to up that. For all you listeners out there, if you go on YouTube and YouTube Blur...
Dozy Bullocks.
The drummer from Blur, Dave from Blur, I had no idea why he just totally freaked out. He took my glasses off, he ripped up the interview cards. Anytime anybody rips up interview cards, that's really upsetting.
You didn't do it to me tonight. Thank you. Of course, I didn't need to even ask any questions because Nardwuar, you took over.
Well, thank you very much, Guy. Thank you, Kevin Smith. Thank you, the callers, too, that phoned in. Norman and Dan. We really appreciate that. Nardwuar.com, next Tuesday the 23rd, Neptune Records, free, all ages gig, My Band, The Evaporators, in celebration of the Wild Pair release with Andrew W.K. from New York City, who has a song called I Love New York City and You. Yeah. And actually, Andrew W.K. is good friends with Kathy Griffin. Check out me and Guy tomorrow night, or listening on podcast whenever. It was the 15th of June, 10 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific on Bravo. It's probably the only time we're going to be able to say this.
Exactly.
Check us out.
I hope we weren't edited
You might
out.
actually, but this is Bravo in the States, not in Canada. You might have to search the internet for that. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much,
Keep on
Nardwuar.
rocking the free world and doot-doodaloo-doo.
Doot-doot.